stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Slowly.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you.
So if everybody wants to make a motion to approve the agenda,
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jason. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. And I would need approval for the consent agenda.
A motion to approve the consent agenda minus items K, L, N, and S.
Can you say that?
I'm sorry,
One more
K,
time. Yep.
L, N, and S. I did in alphabetical order. Make it
Okay,
easier.
thank you.
I appreciate that. Jason.
I try.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Jason.
All right, I just want to talk about just the losses and how we're gonna try and do better, and what are we going to do for the better. Try to recoup some of the losses and try to put it back in the positive. And I know COVID's a special issue, but
Okay.
so with the first one being K would be the golf course.
Mhm. Pull it up.
Do you have a proposal?
Is there anything in specific, Jason, you wanted to bring up, talk, ask questions on?
Yes, the question I have is, we got two numbers. The operating income loss, is that how much they lost for the year? Or is that just what they lost for?
The operating income loss, that's on the first page of the golf course. That's operating. Then you've got some additional income and expenses below that. So your net income loss or gain is that negative 3857.
38.57.
So that's after all the transfers, commitments from the liquor store, the property taxes coming in, and any other revenues that we may or may not always get in, like your donations that came in from some of our members, any other reimbursements, and then the T-Box revenue. So if you take all of that out and you're just looking at general operating, that would be that top line, that negative 41 grand, that the golf course, obviously, if we didn't have those additional contributors, would be at.
Okay. And then the extra amount of money for the golf course shed?
Is not in here because it came out of the revolving loan fund.
Okay.
Okay, so you won't see those expenses.
Okay. So this is just the loss for the running the golf course.
This is just operating for this year's budget, right?
Okay.
And that's due in part that the funding that supported paying for the cart shed came from Fund 250 or the new revolving loan fund. If you were going to refer back to the fund balance report, there were a couple of $1,000 expensed out of this year's budget for the cart shed. That was the permit and a couple other things, because the golf board at that time, it was early spring, hadn't requested for some additional funding yet. We did that in July. So if you look on the main page, the first page of operating expenses, there's a little bit of, let's see if I can remember it. There's probably about near 1/3 of the bottom, you're just gonna see a line that says cart shed expenses for 2380.99 that wasn't budgeted. That's something that we put into this year's operating budget for that shed solely because of what the budget was for the shed was already starting to exceed what was originally budgeted and requested from the revolving loan fund.
Okay,
Does that answer your question?
it does.
Okay.
All right, so if I'm reading this mostly, the loss is from the extra for the repairs and the maintenance.
On an overall standpoint, I would say it's from the whole budget. If you want to pick down what fund line probably lost it all, yeah, I would say maintenance is usually one of our biggest overspent fund lines.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank
Okay.
you. That's all I had for K.
Okay.
Yeah, I also would say that wages had a little bit.
We
off
just did get a little overspent
this
too.
year.
Yeah.
Right, but when he was saying,
Jim?
Jim, thank you. I was gonna say Joe. When Jim was saying that we had the record number of golf and tee times, kind of
Right.
right. I mean, it's you gotta pay people to stay there.
Yeah.
Totally understand that.
Right.
Okay. And then for L on the liquor store statement,
Mhm.
same thing as well. I'm reading the loss. Is that correct on the last page?
Yep, if you're looking at the second page, the net profit after inventory expenses and transfers that have done so far, we're at a -23, and that's before the remaining budgeted of
65,
yeah, well, 75 technically.
75, yeah.
There's like 35,000 still that total that the liquor store is supposed to in 2020 move to the general fund. But if you look at the very bottom of page 2, you'll see where majority of the loss is. And that's because the bar has been closed, which makes the majority of the profit for the liquor store. Without that place, that side being open, operating, we're not getting that overall gross margin. So we're not getting enough profit, which we typically would in a normal year. You want to add anything, Shonda?
Unless he has another specific question. If you look at the bottom of the second page that you're referring to, you look at 2019. The total on sale sales were 264,000 approximately, and 2020 is 162,000.
Lost 101 grand.
So $101,000 of lost revenue due to no management or other issues. Just the fact that we were not able to operate.
Yeah, and I totally see that. I was just trying to understand and totally understand that, it was supposed to be 1 month that turned into 2 months, that turned into 4 months is now, and I totally understand that. I was just hoping, continue on going forwards that we're able to foresee the issue and you're still trying to, with a lack of term, trim the fat so we're not losing as much, continuing to lose as much.
Well, there's not anywhere really you can cut other than your labor, and where everybody except for about 4 of us are, laid off, basically.
Okay.
So
And to date, we still don't know if the state of Minnesota is going to charge us for that unemployment at this point. So far, the city hasn't had to pay for any of the unemployment that has been incurred at all this year because of COVID. Right now, we're not. That could still come.
right, and I mean, most of the employees work full-time somewhere else, so they don't qualify.
Mhm.
Melissa and I haven't filed for unemployment.
Okay.
We're using our vacation. I don't know how much more leaner you can get than that.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to hear that you're doing everything you are, and congrats, and just thank you.
I think what's very important to note to the public, though, you may take away what the liquor store hasn't been able to have in net profit and sales because it's been closed. But if you look on the off sale side, the whole entire store has exceeded its revenue over 2019 and 18.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the majority of it's all doing it in the bar, or excuse me, in the liquor store. And that's something to be said. You're almost doubling your sales this year in a very small space. So that still takes staff.
And our food sales they're just phenomenal, to be
Right.
honest, even with COVID.
That kind of helps balance.
Mhm.
It's definitely helped for some of the profit.
Well, it staunches the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, no,
Good point.
it doesn't make up the difference, but it is in the numbers themselves. Just it's still incredible to see from last year to this year. You know,
Oh yeah, definitely. And the numbers do not lie.
yeah, 113, 142,
Right.
and that's with a pandemic.
Christina, or even you, Shonda, have you heard anything about our lovely governor and a new round of CARES Act money?
I have not seen anything
I have
like
not
that.
heard anything either.
We've touched base with Paul Kepsick, he's the MMDA president, asking him when he heard anything. The last email Melissa had sent this morning was, have you heard anything about the December 18th opening? He's like, likely that he'll extend it.
Oh, guaranteed.
So we're not going to be operating our off sale at least through the end of this year.
Okay.
So we've been trying to focus on the things that we can do.
Mhm.
Advertising our wine, getting those sales, trying to get those wine sales before the holidays. We've got a daily special along with a weekly special. We've been advertising it on our big board,
Mhm.
trying to sharing it on Facebook, just trying to get the word out that we're cooking.
Mhm. Gift cards have helped.
Yep.
The sale of gift cards have been helping because that can guarantee some.
And it's,
Some traffic
it's
in the
pretty
future.
shocking that the number of people in the first 2 weeks we were shut down had no idea why they couldn't come in and sit down. Like, really, they came in there like, there's nobody here.
Not open.
You can't. You can pick up food here, but that's it. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you. And for the fireman's relief fund, saw that we had a negative balance again. We were just wondering why this month.
On the pull tabs.
Correct. I mean, the last 2 months we were doing fabulous with zeros.
What is? I guess I didn't.
$63 in the negative.
That was from October though.
Right.
So pretty hard to narrow it down. When did we shut down? Mid-November. So they probably closed out their books
The boxes and everything.
and their boxes
And it could have been
just
carried
before
over to the
shutdown.
boxes.
And it could have
So I'm
been.
not sure, but I can get in touch with Scott and find out specifically if it was one trouble box or if it was $6-7 over
3
numerous
boxes.
Okay. And then throughout the year, we've been having pretty substantial amounts have been missing as well. Just curious on what safeguards you had put in place.
Well, when we were operational earlier we've been doing some double counting, we did a training session. So yeah, we got 0 and then we got 63. It's a hiccup somewhere, a $50 winner got misplaced or something. I'm not sure specifically, but those are the things that we implemented that landed us the 0 zeros. So yeah.
And to note that on Shonda and Melissa's standpoint, it's trends when we get new staff. So it's a training aspect that just needs to be hammered in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. From my point, maybe not let the new employees touch the box for 6 months or a year if they last that long. Try to get the older,
Really,
wrong word,
that is
the
a good
veteran
point.
employees.
But then to never let them touch the box, and how they were going to learn.
I totally agree.
I mean, I'm just saying,
No,
in the big picture,
right.
it's not an issue that's super alarming. $63 is not super alarming.
I'm glad you said big picture, because if you look over the entire year, that's felony theft through the amount of money that's being
Right.
stolen from the pond.
But see, that's where you're incorrect.
So
Is
it's
that
not stolen money that the pond is paying the firemen's relief fund.
what you're saying is that a criminal activity has happened. And to my judgment and the Fire Relief Association, that is not what's happening. That clerical errors or miscounting, which is non-intentional criminal, it is something that is like she said, in training. So no criminal offenses we feel are resulting in this. So the dollar amount is a clerical error, is training issues, is we have a camera on it, we look, I mean, nobody ever is there by themselves. So
Oh, and
I mean,
agree to
are you
disagree.
understanding what I'm saying? though?
I really do. I mean, you say clerical error, I say opportunity for theft.
I'm gonna cut you off, Jason. And Shonda, do we want to do we want to close this now? Or do you
Oh,
want to
I'm not
finish?
blaming anybody. I'm
No.
just saying the system.
No, do we need to close the meeting now to meet a 6:15 deadline
Oh,
for the truth and taxation?
Yep.
So at this time, I would like to take a motion. I would accept the motion to close this meeting and open the public hearing.
motion to close and then
Second.
open the special or the truth and taxation meeting.
Second.
And any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes. Christina,
I'll be with you in 2 seconds. Paige, you got that open? Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so Paige is going to be my IT since I can't do more than one thing at once.
thank you, Paige.
The supplied document is for the public to review. It's also in the council packet. This 13-page document is presented to review the 2021 property tax levy and also review the city's 2020 general fund budget. I'm going, since there's no one publicly here, Max, I'm just going to review a few highlights.
Okay.
And then if council has any questions, I'll take those at that time, but I'm going to try not to cover a ton of detail given there's no one here from the public at this time.
But we've already done it.
And we've already done it. Yep. So this is basically, just standard. So you'll see on page 1 in the center of the page, we'll review that the 2020 property tax total levy was $303,411. And the proposed 21 is going to be $305,866. I've broken out the percentages between debt and general fund of what that money goes to, giving a change of just under 1% increase. In most cases, this is going to be a decrease on most people's taxes in 21 due to the fact that we had an increase in our net tax capacity. On page 2, thanks, Paige. Near the bottom, I'll just review that the LGA contribution for 2021 has an increase of about 3.5%. From what I understand, those numbers should still be solid when it comes to the state of Minnesota being able to contribute to the cities. You got it?
Just catching up.
I know. I'll slow down and talk. How's that? Page 3, I review the tax base information and the estimated market value history. I always provide a 6-year value history. You can see that For pay of 2021, your estimated market value of the city is increased to almost 10%. A lot of this is contributed based on what was done in 2019 for, people's residents as well as commercial property. One of the really noted improvements in town that got added to this assessment was the expansion of Blackduck Dental. That was a very large contributor to this increase. So still growing, that's nice, that helps. Spreads everything around to everybody. Page 4, we'll just review the taxable market value. That too, you're looking at another increase of 10%. Same result with Blackduck Dental, really contributed a lot. So that was a nice thing to see over the 19 year when we had just a slight loss. So things are still expanding. At the bottom of page 4, just like every year, I note that your property taxes can vary from year to year. It's really important for the public to understand that it's not just the city and their changes that contribute to your property taxes, but we also pay for our school district. We also pay for the ambulance, our taxing district for that, and also Beltrami County, all of which had changes this year. If I could move forward into page 5, I've broken down your 2021 general expenditures and how they contribute to the whole pie. You'll notice that public safety is by far our largest portion of our budget, followed by any general government administration, which is admin, our buildings, and council, followed by streets, and then the smaller budgets inside that. Any questions so far? If I could follow on to page 6, a brief overview of where that funding goes. Obviously, most of it is personnel, and that's like that with just about every budget you see, including our income statements when we look at our expenditures and our enterprise funds, equipment and operating. Couple things to note in 21 that we actually had just an overall increase of just shy of $2,000 total. Our personnel costs went up. We are going to capitalize for armored radios for the fire department, continue our upgrades to our street lighting. And we had some major changes on our equipment for public works and the street department, which was a big portion of what we did in 2020. So now we'll have some fees for that. I also increased the city attorney contract fees because we had such a small amount budgeted in previous years. Pages 7 through 11 basically go over the full budget and their details, so I'm not going to go into that. If you want to jump down to page 12, that gives you an overview of the general fund revenue sources, where we get most of our funds from. You'll remember LGA are usually our largest contributor, then our property taxes, our fire protection contracts that we get from the townships and the cities we support, our liquor store transfers, which are decreasing committed next year, and then any other small aids that we get from the state for our police and our fire department. And then our last page just reviews those details, broken down a little bit further. And that is my presentation. I will take questions if anybody has them at this time.
Council?
I have none.
I have none. No question.
Any questions from the public? Well, talk to myself again and ask if there's any questions from the public. Hearing none, Christina. Thank you. And at that time, I would take a motion to close the public hearing. Open.
And motion to close. public hearing
Open
and open the public hearing,
the regular meeting.
the regular meeting.
There you go. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Nick seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Donna? Jason?
Sorry, it's I don't know how else to make it sound. I mean, I'm not saying you're doing a bad job. No, honestly, I'm really not. I mean, your numbers are saying otherwise. I mean, you're doing a fabulous job. It's just that your mindset on somebody. Okay, let's say you owned a business, and there was an area where there was money coming up missing or shorted. Would you have a problem with somebody or with you not making that profit?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's where I'm going with. It's now it's at a certain dollar amount where it's a big deal. And you have the mindset it's not a big deal.
And so you're telling me the question is that you know what my mindset is.
No, what you're saying is it's not an issue. You're saying it's nothing more than a bothersome that there's money missing. You're chalking it off for a whole year's worth of training exercise. So my question to you would be, at what level and how many months does it take for you to understand that this is not a training issue, that this is a major error?
Well, truly, you're making no sense at all. So I really don't have there's not really a question there. Some accusations that I'm not clear on. But be certain that I take everything that happens in that building like it is my business.
Okay. And like you stated earlier, that you go through the cameras and you 100% sure that nobody is miscounting money is what you're telling this council. That it's a training exercise.
What I'm telling you, because you're the one who has the question.
But I
Right.
said on this council.
Okay. Is that there is an issue, or there was an issue. We're working toward it using the tools at our disposal to ensure that no one is stealing it and that we are training our new trainees appropriately and that mistakes do happen. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay. I have no further questions on this.
Okay.
Thank you, Shonda.
And then the last one for Melissa's cleaning.
Yes.
Just another quick question on, she states in her letter that she will not be able to be on a ladder and unable to remove snow.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ladder I'm assuming is gonna be high dusting and clean high areas,
Yeah.
or
the
is this
6 foot.
outside only?
She uses the step ladder. It's the 6 foot ladder that she feels that uncomfortable on,
Okay,
which is okay because
and then
it's
the
a safety issue.
no, I totally understand that. That's why I was asking, is I just want to make sure that she doesn't get hurt and we're held
Right.
liable for it. And then the snow removal. You have a plan in motion for what she would be doing for removing the snow, or was she never supposed to remove the snow?
It was not part of her original contract last year when
No.
we adopted
All
it.
right, I was just curious because that's why I said unable to shovel snow.
I don't believe she stated, I don't remember if she stated it in her firm last year at
I
all.
think so.
I think she did state it that she was not capable of being able to provide that service.
Okay, yeah, that was the only questions I asked.
Okay, I'm making a motion to approve items K, L, and S from the consent agenda originally.
I second that motion.
Any further discussion?
Done.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Reports of staff. Public Works Supervisor, Mike Schwanke.
I really don't have much for you guys this time. know I'm asking for some sort of money or something. I really don't have much this round.
I was expecting another pound of flesh.
No, not much. Still waiting on pickups. Every time I call, it seems to get bumped further and further back. I'm hoping to get them before Christmas, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. What else do we got? The hot water station. I know we talked on that. I'm meeting with Bruce on the 10th, I believe. Just a few days here. We'll be meeting to go over some stuff with that. Other than that, not really a whole lot, guys. There's no snow, so that's been kind of nice. Real nice. I'm sure it's coming.
Give it time.
Anything for me? Any of you?
I can't think of any.
I can't.
I pretty much covered my whole bit earlier. We don't really have anything. We've been working hard towards finalizing plans for the addition and getting information on that, gathering up.
Since I'm not on that committee, is it going well?
It is going well. It is. We've really certainly attacked the kitchen area and really worked hard on 3 or 4 different scenarios.
Because believe it or not, Melissa and I, she's not allowed to talk about this at home.
Well, that's
So
okay.
I really don't know.
Because she'd probably like to be like, I want to leave that there. But yeah, we took a trip down to Bemidji today and talked to the liquor operations manager of First City Liquor in Bemidji. Just had some basic questions. Your flooring, just basically asked him what he think went well and what things he would change.
Yeah.
And so we got some notes on that to talk to Winseth about. And, that was kind of our homework, was to what kind of fixturing do you want? What kind of flooring do you want? So that the budget will come in closer.
Where we needed to.
So that's what we've been working on. Cooking food.
Anything? Yeah, well, I just want things open again.
Yeah, I know.
I think we're all in the same boat with Max. When you say budget, were you over like our budget was, or were you under?
We haven't actually, it was just the initial budget was kind of a big balloon thing, like throw some numbers on the wall,
Right.
see what sticks.
Mhm.
This is refining it down. What are you gonna need for materials? What do you think your fixture costs are gonna be like? What kind of cooler do you want? That kind of thing
Mhm.
is
Yep.
that affected in a broad sense.
Right.
So there's,
Trying to dial our numbers in.
Right.
and it's gonna take a while because
It's a big project.
Happen right away.
and material costs have escalated and things,
Knowing what we want the end result to be and the process getting us there is
it's going. I mean,
predominantly the meetings. Yeah.
right, and
Yeah,
that's
it's going well.
yeah, I mean, we're making progress every meeting,
Mhm.
Just
Making
not
progress.
jump at the first offer or anything.
well, yeah, they,
Well, if their meetings are anything like the maintenance building meetings is, we added a lot of extra stuff that we really want.
Yeah, actually, I mean, that kitchen rearranging and updating has been probably the center of our conversations, because we knew we wanted to improve it when the manager's office is moved, but what can we do and where can things go and what will be the best traffic flow and to be able to get the food out. And yeah, so there's been some evolution there.
right.
For
Well,
sure.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna have it tore apart.
Mhm.
You wanna do it so that longevity, 20 years from now, they can't go, you guys were really not on top of it.
Because
so I
that's
don't
what we're
know.
finding now.
Yes.
For all the changes structurally that's happened to that building since it was built. It was just like, hey, let's add a bar, or hey, let's add a kitchen, and just figure out how to do it instead of
Right. No,
code
we want it done right, so
Yeah.
that the building will, you know,
Room for improvement.
pay for itself. It will, I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
will
Yeah.
pay for itself.
Yeah, and with that new outline, it looks like it will too.
Yep.
I like what we're kind of all decided on with the kitchen and especially Mike, your good idea of extending that wall and stuff like that.
I just think that with everybody that's been down there and how much we've gone back and forth and bounced things off of each other, I think it's really headed in the right direction for what Shonda wants and what Melissa wants and
Well, and then when you,
the needs of the building itself.
right, and every time you do a remodel of something, it's way more complicated than going, I want this building square and inside I'll make it the way, you know what I mean?
Right.
Start
So
from
you,
fresh,
so you're saying Mike's got it easier? with-
maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're dealing with some stuff that's been there for a long time, 30 years, and I mean, it's been amended many times, so
Right.
it's not as easy as just plopping 4 walls down.
All right,
If I can just ask one question.
sure.
I know you have 1,000 different things on your plate. Is there any way we can get copies of your meetings, of our meetings and their meetings, so the council can read and be up?
I'm not taking notes.
No, okay,
Sorry.
no worries.
We have some questions that, you know, obviously, we have a council member on, you know, and
Right.
Christina and us, we're all here.
Get a
So
hold of
there's a
him
specific
after.
question.
Yeah,
that you need
we can
answered,
share
but-
it at a work session, Jason. That would probably be easiest.
Yeah.
It's just, the meetings are so fluid.
Hmm.
It's literally impossible to get minutes for him. I knew going into it would be very difficult.
Okay, understand. Thank you. I have no other questions for that.
Thanks. We're good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay,
Jace, how's your report coming?
Good.
All right.
I don't really have anything for you guys. We had interviews a week or two ago. They went well for interviews. So, yeah, I guess it's just kind of business as usual. You guys have any questions?
Not off the top of my head.
No.
sorry.
Yeah, actually I do. Just random. How's the building? Did you fix the leak for the time being?
In this one,
Yes.
it only leaks.
I figured, with the
Yeah.
thaw and the
No,
cold.
we haven't done anything with it because it doesn't leak when it rains. It only leaks when we get ice.
Oh,
And so, however, even though it's a flat roof, somehow it's getting ice dams that it's separating membrane up there. But yeah, it can pour rain and it's leaking now, so it's probably fixed until spring again. Then
okay.
I'll have a bucket under it again.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
That's something I can think of.
In the month-end remittance report, Jace,
Say it again.
the month-end remittance report,
Okay.
is that just so that everybody here and on is understanding, this is stuff, this is the money we pay to like Beltrami County for like the law library and
No,
then what do we got?
what this is what the city of Blackduck receives for any fines and fees that the police department have issued, have gone through the court systems, and we get our share.
Okay,
The only thing that's on here of any note is the one that says Blackduck. This would be, for the record, item M in the consent agenda.
mhm.
That's a revenue into the general fund. The remaining ones that are on here are paid out to those corresponding governing entities. We don't pay anything off of this, we only receipt.
Okay,
So if I heard you correctly,
Yep.
all of them are from Bemidji?
Nope, each one is different. So the first one on this particular version of it for November, the first portion is the county's revenue from any fines and fees that they received. The second group is Bemidji's municipalities fines and fees. The third one down is ours for 33. And the last one is county specific that would go to things like sometimes shoot. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is on here, or any other larger things that are associated with like the county or the city of Bemidji, but not associated with us. So these are all revenues that those governing entities received. Ours is right there.
So that everybody's clear.
So
Did I-
if we don't pay anything to the county for their coverage.
Correct.
We don't have 24/7 coverage. We do not pay them anything for the extra coverage.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with what, yeah, if the county has, if Beltrami County pulled somebody over and they had a speeding ticket, and after everything is processed and that fine and fee was paid and it went through the court system, that person would pay X amount, then the court system collects that money, and then the court system spends it out to that governing entity.
And it shows up.
And it shows up in this report.
So these are the reports that Jace's department has helped Bemidji and the county?
No.
No,
Or this is just what they've
It's a
collected?
breakdown. It depends on how the courts process things, but they give you a portion of the money depending on, we don't have our own records. So if we do something and it goes through county courts, they're gonna take a little piece for their
And-
work, you know?
Yep,
I just
and this
wanted
is what
to-
we would remainingly get
Yeah.
out of that particular fine.
Right. In our
That was
ordinances,
issued.
our city ordinances, we keep in-house.
Yep,
And that is paid right here at city.
yeah, these are only
Okay.
state driven.
Okay, that's where I'm getting
Yep.
confused.
Okay,
and that's where I wanted everybody that, especially, you guys are new, know what we're,
So it's
what
the
you're seeing.
breakdown
yes.
of the money, showing where the money's
It
being
is, but
spent, right?
it's darn near entrap. It would be impossible for me to tell any one of you guys what
No,
is
yeah,
involved
that's-
in that. It
Yeah,
changes on a
right.
monthly basis. There's
But
no way to
it's-
know what portion and where it's coming from what. They have that ability, but we won't here.
But it's just basically the breakdown, showing you where the money is being,
given to
Given
for
to.
that particular fine.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you were fined $100, a portion of it's gonna go here for the county, some of it's gonna go to the courts. And if it was city of Blackduck, we issued the fine, if it was speeding or whatever, then a portion of it would come to us.
Right.
Once all the court systems have gotten their money, then we get ours too.
But you won't see any city ordinances reflected.
On this, no, just state.
Or a quota.
No quotas.
That word doesn't mean anything anymore.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, no, I got nothing else, Jace. Thank you. Fire department,
Nothing. I don't have an update on the radios from Brian at this point, but
okay.
I know he's working on it.
Golf course is still closed,
Gulfstream's still closed yet.
and nothing really from the library. I don't think they had their meeting yet,
Oh,
or at least I hadn't heard.
okay.
Tough to say, because I'm pretty sure they're not, I don't know if they're gonna do a Santa thing or not, or COVID,
Mm.
6 feet away from Santa and shout your
which is,
list.
At least the parents can hear it this time.
Yeah,
No more secrets.
other than that, Christina, I had one other little question.
Okay.
Not tonight,
Okay,
go ahead,
on to me.
on to you.
Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to swear in Sheldon. I didn't get to do it at the work session because you weren't here. So, and because you're officially, you were voted in the election, and by the way the resolution stated, you were filling this vacancy until the election or the end of the year. The election is done, I have to swear you in right away. So, would you join me, please? And if we do it now, we don't have to do it in January,
Slide through.
because it'll already have been filling the vacancy.
and that's why I couldn't, when I seen that, I
Yep.
was like, I already did this.
You did. You filled it until. So now you're
Right,
filling it
okay.
officially. So in the next 2 years, I won't I'll swear everybody else in January. I won't have to swear you in January because we're doing it now.
Okay, that was
Okay.
my next question, if I had to do that in
No,
January
you
again.
won't. You know. Okay, so nothing different than before. Raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I, Sheldon Oslin,
I shall not
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
and I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Counselor of the City of Blackduck
Counselor of the City of Blackduck
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. I'll have you sign it at the end of the meeting.
All right.
Sorry, Sheldon, I left my confetti at home.
That's all right.
Okay.
I have to comb my hair again.
Okay, Max, so,
Keep our short.
B, resolution 2020-35 is a resolution declaring a vacancy for a special election for council member position. This is due in part to the second two-year position was not filled after the election. And it wasn't an easy resolution to write.
No, I could tell. I went all the way back to page on there. And if I read "and whereas" one more time.
I wanted to get it right.
Yeah, and whereas you did.
Well, I hope so.
Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve 2020-335 resolution, accepting or declaring a vacancy for the special election council member seat of 2021 through 2022.
Second.
A motion and a second. Do I have any discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution passes.
All right, letter C is resolution 2020-36. This is declaring the vacancy for the general election council member position and calling a special election for April 13th, 2021 to fill that 4-year seat.
Motion to approve 2020-36, declaring a vacancy for the general election for the council member seat and holding the special election
Mhm.
for April 13th, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, passes.
All right, letter D is resolution 2020-37. Jason has written a letter of interest to fill the special election seat that you just declared the vacancy. This resolution 37 would appoint Jason to serve the term of the vacant council member seat through December 31st, 2022, or when those elections have been finalized. I figure you can motion in second and then discuss it with Jason. I included his letter.
I can still make the motion, right? I just can't vote on myself.
That would be correct. Very good, yes.
Unless anybody else wants to make the motion.
I'll make the motion of the 2020-37 resolution for Jason Coble to take the seat through December 31st, 2002,
22.
or 22.
Ooh, happy Walmart.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Nate. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Just staying.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes.
Where's my confetti?
Still no confetti.
I'll settle for pocket lint.
Holy God.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
I should say council and mayor.
Moving on. Letter E on the agenda, Resolution 2020-38. This is the resolution approving the final 2020 tax levy collectible in 2021 as it was stated during the Truth and Taxation public hearing.
Here we go again.
A motion to approve resolution 2020-38, approving the final 2020 tax levy collectible in 2021 for the amount of $305,866.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Passes.
All right, letter F is resolution 2020-39, adopting a schedule of fees and charges for various services, licenses, and permits for the city of Blackduck for the year 2021. Council will note, as per the work session discussion, item 30 and 34 under water and sewer on page 2 were discussed and updated. Mike and I actually worked on the bulk water fee, and we both feel as though that this is very suitable based upon other cities. So I would ask for that to be approved.
Motion to approve resolution 2020-39, adopting schedules and fees and changes for 2021.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Passes.
And then G is resolution 20, whoops, got an extra 2 in there, 2020-40. This is the resolution declaring the sufficiency of petition and setting a public hearing on the proposed vacation of Universal Drive between Orion Court and Milky Way Drive, and Orion Court and Milky Way in its entirety in the preliminary plat entitled Southern Duck Estates, based on the conversation that was held at the work session with Matt Sparby.
I'll approve the 2020-40 resolution declaring the University Drive Southwest between Warrior Circle Southwest and the Milky Way Drive Southwest.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
Nick seconds. Any discussion, guys?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Passes.
And then, Max, all I have left is just some noted dates for the rest of this year. The Development Corps meeting is this Wednesday here at City Hall. The next planning meeting for the liquor store is on the 15th at the liquor store itself at 1 o'clock. The city maintenance and police facility planning meeting is also the 15th at 3 o'clock here at City Hall.
Could we possibly bump those both up an hour? Cause the last two that we've done, we get out of here at like 5 o'clock at night.
I can try to get a hold of Steven and see if it's a potential.
See if we can do noon.
Okay.
Does that work for
It's fine
everybody
for
on
me.
the other?
Oh, I
Jason,
don't
would
know.
that work for
I
you?
might be busy, but
Which one is that? 2 instead of 3?
Yeah,
And then you'd be out at 4?
yeah, instead of 5, like we've been finishing at.
Yeah, I'm still stuck to that 4 o'clock, so.
You gotta leave at 4 no matter what.
Regardless,
Exactly.
yeah.
So if it was an hour earlier, it would actually help
better.
you too.
Correct.
I'll send an email to Steven and see. I don't see why that's a problem. Won't conflict with anything I'm doing.
Good.
Nick?
Yeah.
I'll
Do you wanna
fine
go?
with that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only conflict I had was I was driving from Bemidji
Trying to
that
get
time.
your-
Well, yeah, his class ended at 1:45. but now class is over, so I don't have that issue.
Okay.
On
Uh,
that note, real quick, if nothing else, we could probably start the meeting for us, if Steven can't make until 1, the scheduled meeting for the pond.
Doesn't he plan on bringing new blueprints? and
Yeah, I
new
don't-
Right,
designs?
but I mean, if we could still start ours, start at noon and recap kind of what we're thinking going forward, because we looked at some fixtures and some other ideas
Before he gets
before
there.
he gets there. This way we can still stay on page or on track. And then when he comes in at 1, then we can
Be ready for it.
we'll be ready
Be
for it.
ready.
Have a little more of a,
I'll find out and I'll let him
He's
know.
pretty accommodating.
He is very,
usually.
very accommodating, so I doubt that there's gonna be a problem.
So we wanna change the maintenance one to
2.
2?
Mm-hmm. Anything else on that? The next thing I have down is December 16th is the next chamber meeting. The chamber held their last meeting via Zoom due to the shutdown. And they're wanting to do that again. So that would be a week from Wednesday. Then L on the same date is the scheduled planning commission meeting for Blackduck. At this point, I don't have anything for the planning commission to actually address this month. That may get postponed at this time. That's its set scheduled date and time. On December 17th at 9:30, the Blackduck ambulance board meeting, I'll be in attendance. We're going to be doing that Zoom as well, because there are people that are still locked down on that board. So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think there's a joint planning that month or that night, that day, excuse me. Moving on, December 24th, that's Christmas Eve. By policy, City Hall is closed at noon that day. And then on the 25th, which was a Friday, is the observed holiday for Christmas Day. City Hall is closed that day as well. January 1st is the following Friday, and City Hall is closed in observance for New Year's Day. And then I noted that the first regular city council meeting for 2021 is scheduled for January 11th. And that's everything I have, unless anyone has any questions or comments or concerns for me.
The workshop is,
I am not scheduling a work session for December. Sheldon.
okay, thank you very much.
That's your Christmas
Yeah,
present.
Your Christmas present.
Anything else?
Newly elected official stuff? With the league?
Yes, for those of you that would like to attend the virtual, because it's going to be virtual, newly elected and continuing elected training, the League of Minnesota Cities is holding it. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but I'll forward you the emails again. Registration opens on the 10th, I believe, of this month. So if you have an interest in attending, it is going to be virtual. It looks as though it may not be live. If I read it correctly, it might be somewhat recorded, so you wouldn't have to commit to a certain time to be there. But please review that email, or at least look on the league's website and see if it's something that you can commit to, and then I'll make sure I at least get you registered so they know how many people are going to be attending.
I would recommend it.
That's what I was thinking too.
Mhm. In the past, it used to be in Brainerd.
The food's way better in person.
Mhm.
Sure.
But if you're Zoom-
But
It is what it
it'll be
is.
a virtual thing, so you don't get them
Perks.
perks.
you know,
Yeah.
those little perks.
I'm hoping that the networking is still accessible, that you'll still be able to see some other elected officials.
It was interesting because up here we're still small, and you get to go down there and talk with guys that actually ran a campaign and had to.
The bigger picture.
They'll ask you how much you spent on your campaign, and you're gonna, yeah, no,
$400.
You know, they're like 40, 50,000.
Right.
And it's like, no, not even close. But
Yeah, like
they
Christina
do
was saying.
have a lot of those people do have some knowledge that, we don't have.
From passed on.
Yep,
And
it's good.
from what Max and Christina are both saying, the networking, it's so beneficial because you might have a question and you might feel silly asking one of us, but you can always reach out to them and they're like, oh yeah, we've asked that so many different times, and it's like, oh, it's not a silly question. Yeah. And the workshops that they have there, I wonder how they're going to do them get together workshops, because them were very beneficial too.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. This will be their first time doing it, so
So
it'll be interesting. I mean, I would
we'll be getting
keep
to-
an open mind to it and attend it, and just hope that you get just as much out of it as you would if in person. The league does a great job at all of their trainings, so I can't imagine it wouldn't be useful in some way.
All right. So we'll get that information sent to us then.
Yeah, I'll just register
Sure.
all of you guys, and then it'll come to your email.
And anybody got anything else?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
See you next year.
You guys have a nice holiday. If I don't see you before then.
We'll be seeing you on the 15th.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wait a
I was
minute.
talking to everybody.